Welcome to another J2 Comics and Cards video. Today we're going to talk a little bit about supplies for your comics. So I went to my local comic book store and I picked up some of the latest Scotty Young covers. Scotty Young is actually one of my favorite cover artists. So I picked up some past issues of Scotty Young. This is the Amazing Spider-Man 61, so I had this on whole. And then the 62 issue, along with a couple of other Scotty Youngs. So today I want to talk about how do you protect your comics. We talked about, I have a video that talks about sports cards and how to protect your sports cards. But today's video I want to jump in and talk about protecting your comics, because both your comics or your cards, depending on what you collect, they're all investments. So you definitely want to make sure you take care of your product, right? So the first thing I want to show you is with your comics, you want to make sure that you have what we call in the hobby bags and boards. So you can buy your bags and boards individually. So this is just a standard white piece of cardboard. It's a cardstock, sturdy. And what you would do with your cardstock is you would put it behind your board, put it behind your book, so it's a little more sturdy. And this keeps your comic book from getting wrinkled or bent edges or anything like that, especially when you're planning to, possibly grade it or, resell. So you definitely want something rigid in the back to keep it sturdy. So what I'd like to do is, I purchased my cardboard in bulk. So if you notice, it says Silver Age. This Silver Age size, that's the type of book. So Silver Age or modern books, you can get boards for that particular size. If it's Golden Age or if it's something else, Bronze Age, you can get these from your local comic book shop in a bulk. And I think there's 100 of those that come in this case. You can find those at your local hobby shop. And then for your bags, I generally get both at the same time if I'm running low. So these are the bags that go with the boards. So you have, if you notice, the same company, same brand, but you have your bags and your boards. And so the reason why, again, you want to make sure you have a bag is goes back to protecting your product. So I'm gonna open this and show you how it works. It's really easy. It's a bag and board, so there's nothing complicated to it. But I definitely recommend it. You can also find these sold individually. You don't have to buy your bags and boards in bulk. You can actually get them from your comic book shop. So when you're buying your books, you get some comic book shops will have them already put together. And if they're already put together, then you can just pick up however many you need. So so this is your bag. This would be your bag here. And if you have once you have your board and your bag, your board and your book together, you're just gonna slide it in, right? So you would slide it in. I'll get it started and then I'll show it to you. So you want to put it in so that the flap is in the back and not in the front, and I'll explain to you why that matters. All right, so sliding it in. All right, so goes in like that. All right, so now here's the flap, and the flap will close on the board. So the reason why you position it so that the flap closes on the back and not on the front is you don't want anything to damage your book. So you want to close it from the back. And then once you have it closed here, everybody uses different materials. I always recommend using painter's tape, the blue painter's tape, because at least with the blue painter's tape, it won't accidentally peel off anything. That's why we put it on the back, because there's no way of getting it accidentally pulling off any of the color or the words or anything from the cover. So you want to make sure that you're protecting the cover as much as possible with your bag and boards. Now, in addition to bags and boards, one thing that I also make sure I have, especially, you know, if I'm selling, if I'm doing a resale, I'll put it in the eBay store or somewhere like that. I also get, you know, whenever we get packages in or I find a box, I like to cut them down. Cut the cardboard down to size, so it looks like this. And so that way, when I'm shipping books out, if I have a couple books to ship out, it would look something like this, where, you know, I'm putting the cardboard behind the bag and board, and then I may take another piece of cardboard, depending on how many books, and I'll put it together. You may have seen something similar to this if you watch my protecting your cards, your sports cards. I've done the same thing with the sports cards. You can do the exact same with your comic books, depending on how many books you have. If it's a really expensive book, it doesn't hurt to do the same thing. You want to keep the book flat at all times. Now, the reason why you want to bag and board and protect your book and keep them flat is because if you leave your books out, right? So I'm going to show you these Scotty Young books I picked up. Now, if I just leave these books out without protecting them, the moisture in the house, whether it's hot or cold, it doesn't matter, it will dry out, right? This is still paper, it's delicate paper. So in order to preserve the book, the color of the paper, you want to make sure that you're protecting it from moisture, right? And you don't want the book to dry out. You want the colors to remain sharp and clean, you know, and you don't want the paper to warp over time because of the temperature moving in from the winter, you know, cold and warm seasons. You want to make sure that you're definitely protecting them. So the one thing I don't have to show you at the moment, but I'm going to come back, that's another video, is to show you the difference between a hard short box or a long box and a graded or hard case. So those are the bins that you put your books inside of. And so I like to store my books. You might be able to see one in the background. I like to store my books in boxes and have them stand up. And so that again helps the corners from getting bent, or helps the book from, you know, having, you know, buckling or having waves in it. And then one other thing I'm going to show you, this is good for sorting. So if you want to sort your book by, you know, character, or you know, I normally have boxes for Marvel and DC, and you know, you might want to sort them. So here's another great product that I would recommend. If you notice, is BCW. You may have seen that company again in my protecting your cards and your cards. This again, they sell products that will help you to sort. So you might be able to see the picture. This is a long box or a short box, and you put that inside the box, and you can get labels to help you identify what's in the box. That saves you a lot of time. So these dividers are hard acrylic, like plastic dividers, and they also protect your books because of the rigidness of the divider. So I hope this video has been helpful. Again, talking about protecting you, bagging and boarding your comics when you pick them up, when you buy your comics from your comic book shop. Make sure that you're bagging and boarding them, keep them fresh and from bending. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave some comments in the comment section. I would appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing. Thank you.